I've got two teenage boys that live, eat, and breathe basketball, and they have spent the entire summer training and off season gearing up for their new season. And we got the phone call yesterday that that season was coming to an abrupt end because of everything with COVID. It's been put off for a couple months, and they were very disappointed. And it got me kind of looking around because in the same email we talked about new restrictions for our state and how schools are probably going to be closed for a couple weeks around Thanksgiving just to kind of slow things down. And it had me kind of looking around and taking a tally of things. And it's easy to look and find lots of broken places right now in our society. And it reminded me of Nehemiah and how Nehemiah caught God's heart. That when he heard that the walls of Jerusalem had been destroyed, it broke him, and he was sorrowful, and it moved him to action. Because Nehemiah knew that other people looked at walls as a form of segregation and things that were negative. Nehemiah knew to God that was a symbol of strength for God's people and for himself. And so when he heard that they were broken, he could envision that people walking by and seeing this wall would get a false impression about God's strength and find him in a light of weakness. And it was more than he could bear. And so it moved him to action. And so he gives up this prominent position and he goes and starts a construction process. And so it had me doing a little self-evaluation of my walls, the walls of my community, the walls of my family, and the walls around my own heart, and taking a tally, are there any areas where my walls are broken? And if there is, and there was for me, I need to catch God's heart and know that those walls that are broken, those areas of brokenness where the enemy can come in and play on vulnerability, play on fear, those areas are a false impression of God's strength. And I will no longer stand for it. So God doesn't need your perfection. God needs you to be willing to rise up, have a call to action, and put your hand to the plow and start repairing your walls.